Hey everyone, this is Steven here, back at it again with another video. In today's video, we're going over everything NFL sports card market. We're going to look at some charts of the more popular players, and then at the end of the video, we're going to get into some of the hottest and coldest NFL sports cards over the past 2 weeks. But before we get into that, if you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more in the future, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. So now that we got that out of the way, we can get into the actual video here. I did want to say happy Labor Day weekend to everyone. I hope everyone has a nice and relaxing weekend hanging out with family and friends. But with that being said, we can get into the video here. And the main goal and purpose of this video is just to take a look at the NFL sports card market prior to the season starting. The season starts in about a week or so. So I'm pretty excited about the season starting. I've been in a couple fantasy leagues, which is always a lot of fun, just kind of researching players and coming up with a draft strategy. So that's been a lot of fun. And we're about 1 week away from the season starting. And typically, which is what we've gone over in the past, we've seen a lot of these NFL sports cards slowly creep up during the offseason and kind of peak towards the beginning of the start of the season. So essentially, we would have seen the highest card prices as of right now. And then a lot of people sell off their cards at the beginning of the season to kind of mitigate some risks, as there are a lot of injuries in the NFL and a lot of things change from week to week. So a lot of people end up selling at the beginning of the season, and then throughout the playoffs we do see another spike, but we're not quite there yet. But I did want to just check in on the NFL sports card market. So the first half of this video, we're going to look at just some of the more popular players and just see how they're trending compared to some of last year's trends and the year prior. And kind of a spoiler here is we are not seeing the increases that a lot of people were expecting, which is also what we've talked about. If everyone is expecting to sell their cards at the start of the season, then there could be a bigger supply than demand, which it kind of looks like we're starting to see. And that's kind of what we've been talking about on this channel, and I know other channels have been talking about it too. But overall, we're not really seeing the massive increase at the start of the season that we've seen in the past. So I just wanted to touch up on what we're currently seeing right now. And then at the second half of the video, we are going to go over some of the hottest and coldest NFL sports cards over the past 2 weeks, so we can see which cards have gone up the most and also which cards have gone down the most over the past 2 weeks. So with that being said, we can get into the video here. I again apologize for the extended intro, and I do think that this video is going to be a longer one. So grab a drink, grab some popcorn, just grab whatever you want, enjoy the video. But we're going to get started here like we always do with Patrick Mahomes, and I have his 2017 Optic base rookie card in a PSA 10, and then also his 2017 Prizm silver rookie card, as he does not have a base Prizm for 2017. So I have two of his rookie cards here, and let's check out how Patrick Mahomes has done over the past 30 days. So this will kind of go through the preseason time frame up until now, so about a week until the actual season starts. But over the past 30 days, his Prizm is down about 7%, and his Optic PSA 10 is up about 10%. So we've seen his Prizm come down a little bit, but it does look like that's pretty low in sales volumes. But the Optic has gone up about 10%. We'll say between these two cards, it does look like they're relatively flat over the last month or so. The next player I wanted to look at is Josh Allen, and this is another young superstar on the Buffalo Bills, and I have his PSA 10 2018 Optic football rookie card, and then also his 2018 Prizm base rookie card here. So both really good looking cards, and let's see how his cards have done over the past 30 days. Looks like the Prizm is up about 2% over the past 30 days, and his Optic base is up about 17%. So similar to the Patrick Mahomes, it looks like the Optics are actually going up, whereas the Prizms are relatively flat. And this is with a lot of hype and a lot of high expectations around Josh Allen. And over the past 30 days, his cards have gone up 2% for the Prizm and about 17% for the Optic. Let's check out another player here. We have another fan favorite and a lot of hype built into Baker Mayfield, it seems like, this year. So a lot of expectations for him this year, as they have a great O-line, a great running game, great coach, and some decent receivers with a solid defense. So I think a lot of people are expecting more out of the Browns this year. But I have his 2018 Optic base rookie card, and then also his 2018 Prizm base rookie card. And over the past 30 days, it looks like his Prizm is down about 10%. So that's kind of holding true to what we're seeing for the Prizms with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is a little bit of downside, also, if not a little bit flat. So we have seen a downtrend for the Prizm, and his optic is actually up 12%. So this is, again, kind of the trends we're seeing for the first three quarterbacks, is that the optics are actually up slightly, whereas the Prizms are slightly down. The next player I wanted to look at is Kyler Murray, and again, I have his optic base rookie card here, and then his Prizm base rookie card here for Kyler Murray on the Arizona Cardinals. And it looks like his Prizm is down about 14%, which is pretty similar to the other three players that we just looked at. Is slight downside over the past 30 days for the Prizms, and it looks like his optic, which has pretty low sales volumes, is down about 10% as well. So for Kyler Murray, we're seeing both of these cards actually down over 10% over the past 30 days. So again, it doesn't really look like we're seeing the overall trend that we've seen in the past, where these cards are spiking towards the beginning of the season and then a drop off. We're not really seeing that this year. But let's check out some more players. Justin Herbert had an amazing rookie season. This is going to be second year with the Chargers. I have his 2020 Optic football rookie card in a PSA 10 and his 2020 Prizm base rookie card, both in PSA 10. And it looks like, similar to the other trends for the Prizm, this one's down about 14%, which is kind of holding true to the other quarterbacks we looked at. And his optic base over the past month, his cards are down about 4% for the optic. So overall, looks like the Justin Herbert card market is down, say, around 10% over the past month or so. Next cards and player I want to look at is Lamar Jackson, and I have his 2018 Optic base rookie card in a PSA 10, and also his 2018 Prizm base rookie card also in a PSA 10. And it looks like the Prizm is down about 20% over the past month. So again, we are seeing a lot of weakness in the Prizm PSA 10 rookie cards for a lot of these bigger name quarterbacks. And it also looks like his optic base is down about 12%. It does look like, as a whole, Lamar Jackson cards are down heading into the start of the regular season. Another player I want to highlight is Carson Wentz. I have his, again, optic base rookie card in a PSA 10, and also his 2016 Prizm silver rookie card in a PSA 10. And it looks like his silver Prizm PSA 10 is down about 14%. So again, we are seeing a lot of downside on the Prizms over the past month or so for these quarterbacks. But his optic is also down about 10%. So both of his Prizm and his optic rookie cards are both down. And I think a lot of this has to do with his injury going into the season. I think it's still kind of unclear how healthy he'll be at the start of the season with his foot injury. So I think that is still playing a role in his card prices. But let's check out another player, and this is Cam Newton here. I have his 2011 Topps base rookie card in a PSA 10. And this card, so Cam did recently get cut by the Patriots, and it does look like his cards are seeing the effects of that. This card is down about 34% over the past 30 days, and a lot of that most likely has to do with the fact that he did get cut by the Patriots and hasn't been picked up by another team. So overall, Cam Newton, his Topps base rookie card is down about 34% over the past month. And then this one was kind of interesting too. I have Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, both the quarterbacks on the Denver Broncos, and I have Drew Lock's Prizm 2019 base rookie card here, and I have Teddy Bridgewater's 2014 Prizm rookie card here. And as you can see here, the blue line is Drew Lock, and you can see is trending up, and then it just took a pretty big decline, and that's because he lost the starting position to Teddy Bridgewater. And as you can see, Teddy Bridgewater's cards are the purple, and those have just been trending straight up. And then this has to do with the fact that Teddy was named the starter for the Denver Broncos over Drew Lock. Even though Drew Lock did have a pretty good preseason, they decided to go with Teddy, and the cards are currently reflecting that, with Drew Lock down about 23% over the past month, and then Teddy Bridgewater up about 200% over the past month, but it is very low sales volumes. It looks like there's about 4 or 5 sales for Teddy Bridgewater, so take that with a grain of salt. But overall, Teddy is trending up, whereas Drew Lock is trending down, as Teddy was recently named the starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And the last card and player I wanted to highlight here is Jameis Winston, Crab Lakes here, and this is his 2015 Prizm football base rookie card in a PSA 10. And this card, over the past 30 days, again, very limited sales volume on this, but his card is up about 20%. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that he was in a quarterback battle with Taysom Hill. He ended up winning that and was named the starter for the New Orleans Saints. So his card prices are trending up. So my takeaways from looking at some of these charts. And again, we're not covering all of the NFL sports cards. I'm sure there's some positional players that have gone up or down pretty significantly over the past month or so. But overall, what I'm personally seeing in my takeaways from looking at some of these charts, the first thing that really caught my eye is that we're not seeing the overall uptick in the NFL sports card market prior to the start of the season that we've seen in the past. And this is something that we've really talked about on this channel, where if we have everyone anticipating these cards to rise, then everyone's going to be trying to sell these cards, so that will in turn really increase supply rather than demand. So I think a lot of people are trying to sell their cards at this time rather than buy cards right now, because we've all been told that time to sell is right before the start of the season. So I think that has a factor in, and I think a lot of the COVID and the hype stuff, I think just the market is cooling down in general. But again, we're not really seeing that major uptick that we've seen in the past. And I think another thing that we are seeing, and then also we'll continue to see in the future, I think that we will see spikes and declines based on performance. So as you saw with the Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock cards, Bridgewater's cards have been going up, whereas Drew Lock's cards have been trending down ever since he lost the starting job and Teddy won it. So I do think that that's going to be what we're going to see in the future, where the market's going to be rather flat, but depending on players' performances, that is what's really going to drive the market. So I think that if a specific player has a good week or a really bad week, the card prices are really going to reflect that, which I really think is getting back to pre-COVID levels. That's kind of what the market was doing in the past. So I do think we're getting back to that. A lot more of the prices be driven by the performance of the particular players. But with that being said, we can get into the top 10 hottest and coldest NFL sports cards, and we do this pretty regularly. This kind of helps us get a better understanding to see how some of these cards are moving. And again, for this, we're going to focus solely on NFL. So that's the only sport we're going to focus on this. And we're looking at the last 14 days. And for this, I'm filtering on PSA 10s only, football cards only, and rookie cards only. And I did set a number of sales filter at 20. So you have to have more than 20 sales to be on this list over the past 14 days. And we're going to start with the biggest losers here. And the biggest losers would be the cards that have gone down the most over the past 2 weeks, and then after that we're going to switch over to some of the biggest winners, which would be some of the cards that have gone up the most over the past 2 weeks. And we are about 14 minutes in, it looks like, so this video is going a lot longer than I anticipated, so I apologize for that, but I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit here. But for some of the losers, we have Alvin Kamara down about 1%, so pretty flat there. Peyton Manning, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, his cards are down about 1% as well. Lamar Jackson down about 2% over the past 2 weeks. Kyler Murray also down about 2%. Joe Burrow down also about 2%. Saquon Barkley down about 4%. It's still pretty unclear when he'll return or if he'll be 100% at the start of the season, so that could have a impact on his current card prices, as there's still an unknown to some of the health and how his ACL is recovering and if he'll be ready for the beginning of the season or not. And then we have Patrick Mahomes down about 4% over the past 2 weeks. Justin Herbert also down about 4%. So we are seeing a lot of red. It's not big numbers or anything like that, nothing too crazy, but the number of cards that are down is a lot higher than we've seen in the past. But it looks like Dwayne Haskins is down another 4%. Sam Darnold on the Panthers is down about 6%. Barry Sanders is also down 6%. Christian McCaffrey, which is pretty interesting there, down about 7%. And then we have Derrick Henry down 7%. Jonathan Taylor down 7%. Tua down about 8%. DK Metcalf, my boy on the Seahawks, he's down about 8% over the past 2 weeks. Deion Sanders, 8%. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes on the Giants, they have a horrible offensive line. They did add a couple receivers, but still a very bad offensive line. His cards are down about 8%. Carson Wentz down about 9% over the past 2 weeks. Again, I think some of that has to do with the injury and kind of the unknowns around that. CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, down about 10% on the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts down 12%. Josh Jacobs down 13%. Justin Jefferson, that's kind of interesting there, down about 15% over the past 2 weeks. And then Jordan Love and Drew Lock are the two biggest losers over the past two. And we know that the Drew Lock card prices are dependent on him being a starter, which he is not. His card prices are really reflecting that. And Jordan Love's cards down about 30%, mainly due to the fact that Aaron Rodgers is back. So the hope and all of the hype around Jordan Love, and he did have some injury concerns in the preseason, but I think a lot of that is starting to fade off now as Aaron Rodgers is back for another year. So overall, the two biggest losers over the past 2 weeks would be Drew Lock and Jordan Love. So now that we went over some of the cards that have gone down the most over the past 2 weeks, we'll look at some of the cards that have gone up the most over the past 2 weeks. We'll start at the bottom here, and not really a lot of green, as you can see. There's some green, but definitely a lot more red than green over the past 2 weeks. So we're going to start off here at the bottom. CeeDee Lamb, pretty flat, up about 1%. Jameis Winston, crab legs, again, he's up about 2%. And then we have Dalvin Cook, up about 4%. Josh Allen, up about 4%. I think people are expecting pretty big things out of Josh Allen this year. Dak Prescott up about 5%. I think there's still some hype going on with the typical Dallas Cowboy offseason hype. And then also he was on Hard Knocks, and it does sound like his shoulder injury is not as severe as a lot of people anticipated. So that could be some of the reasons why his cards are up about 5%. Deontay Johnson on the Steelers, up about 6%. TB12, Tom Brady, up about 7%. Troy Aikman, seen a little love there, up about 9%. And then we have Russell Wilson, up about 11% on the Seahawks. Emmitt Smith is up about 13% over the past 2 weeks. And then Aaron Rodgers, up about 13%, as he will be the starter on the Green Bay Packers this year. Gardner Minshew, up about 21%. Could have to do with the fact that he recently got traded to the Eagles, even though he is not a starter there, but that could be a piece of it. And then Derek Carr, up about 23% on the Raiders. A.J. Brown saw a pretty big increase of 30% over the past 2 weeks. And then also Brett Favre, pretty interesting here, but his cards are up about 34%. And the biggest winner over the past 2 weeks is what we kind of talked about, but it's Teddy Bridgewater, up about 64% over the past 2 weeks, and a lot of that is driven by the fact that he was named the starter for the Denver Broncos over Drew Lock. But with all that being said, I really hope that you found today's video somewhat informative and also entertaining. If you did, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. Thanks, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.